three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, fresh off 30K this morning, a BTC pump. We finally are starting to get our October that we were waiting for, Mr. FOMO. This is AZcrypto. Thanks for joining us. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, bell notification. As always, super chats available. We got rejected this morning at 30K, actually twice, but I'm not worried. I think this is just the beginning, and we got some a bright futures hopefully ahead of us over the next few weeks. And volume has picked up significantly over the past 24 to 48 hours. And you got to like what you see here, Mr. FOMO.
I really like it. There's a few things out there that are stirring this. One, BlackRock and Fidelity both amended their ETFs. And so people are getting excited about the idea that those amendments could mean that an ETF is on deck. And so that is something that we're looking at. Also, Lightning Labs is trying to add to Bitcoin. They're trying to add stable coins to the Bitcoin network through Taproot, which is also an interesting idea. All of that would happen off chain, but it would still be, finalized on the Bitcoin blockchain. And so there's a lot of exciting news if you're into crypto like us. If you're not really paying attention, then you're going to miss out on some of this stuff. And this stuff is important. I mean, having stable coins on Bitcoin makes it, makes it more versatile. And the more versatile Bitcoin becomes, and the more it develops, and the more it's able to, do things like tokenize the US dollar, which is what they're essentially doing with the stable coin. You're seeing Bitcoin start to take over what other tokens were trying to do to separate themselves from Bitcoin, right? And so that's kind of exciting to see. But if you're not really paying attention, you're missing that, and you have no idea why the market is moving right now.
Yeah, the fixed supply, the numbers are never going to change. So as we get closer to the halving and the ETFs get approved, I'm very, very bullish. How can you not be? Looking at the past cycles, and again, there's no guarantees in life, absolutely not. But right now, if you haven't, for entertainment purposes only, if you haven't gotten any Bitcoin and you plan to buy some over the next 12 to 24 months, I'm not sure. Yes, I do think there'll be a dip around the holidays, but the time to accumulate is starting to run out. It's just, I've said this before, people are going to complain during the bull run that they wish they had more time to accumulate. And we've been sitting here for 2 years, basically telling people to responsibly accumulate. And so hopefully if you've been watching the show, you've taken advantage of that, because I think you're going to start to get rewarded. We talked about a 2-year time frame, and I think that's what's happening here. We're getting closer to Thanksgiving, and within the next 24 to 25 months, now you might think, well, it's only going to be 18 months. That's fine too. You're going to see some type of bull run. Know what it looks like exactly? No one really knows. It's just an educated guess. But the reality is, I doubt you're going to see a bear market play out for the next 2 years. And I do want to remind our viewers, we told them that 30K would get rejected a few times before it finally went over. So my prediction is we will finally take over 30K over the next 24 to 48 hours. Maybe not till Monday, but because of the weekend, you just never know. But I think 30K is coming. And then I'm feeling pretty optimistic about my 32 by the end of the month that I talked about. Still a long ways to go, because you do have to overtake 30 and get over that sell pressure. But the more you knock on the door, eventually you do get over. And you're seeing some alts right now like Solana and Chainlink pump as well. That's a good sign, because if it was just Bitcoin, that usually happens during, obviously the bear market. But to see some life in the alts is also good. Amazing accumulation opportunities with entertainment purposes only. You saw Engine down to 20 cents earlier. So good to see here. Let's see if it continues, and I think it will.
Look at how great this chat is. I bought at 69K. I bought at 19K. I'm just now in the green at 30K. That's the power of the DCA, right? That's the power of coming in during the last bull market, sticking to your guns, sticking to your research, DCAing all the way through this horrible winter, and now coming out on the other side in the green already. We just got into October. We're 6 months out from the halving event. You're already in the green. That is excellent work, my friend. Tennessee Eco Man, you have been doing it right, and now you are in the green, and I expect to see you in the green from here on out through this bull run. Enjoy those profits, my friend. Enjoy those profits.
We'll do another show about this, but taking profits is going to be pivotal over. Wow, excellent, congratulations. Taking profit is going to be pivotal over the next couple years. I think so. Unless you're one of the people that I'm going to hold Bitcoin for the next 8 to 16 to 20 years, and you're young and you can afford to do that, great. Is if you can put it in a safe place, I think you'll be massively rewarded down the line. Now,
you'll see a point where you're going to look at your profits, and it's going to be hard to look at those profits and not take a little bit off the table. And I would encourage those of you who get to that point to protect some of those profits. Not financial advice. However, I've been in that situation before where the profit margin looks great until it doesn't look great. So the only time you're actually in profits is when you take profits and protect those profits. So remember that in this next bull run, it's okay to protect profits, and remember that there will be another crypto winter, just like we're suffering through now, just like we earned all these black and blue marks and these broken bones through this winter. We earned them now. Don't forget this lesson and get them again at the end of this next bull run. Make sure you're taking and protecting your profits.
And I do think we want to, be careful. The alts are definitely different than Bitcoin. Obviously, if you hold Bitcoin over the long term, it's proven to be successful. The alts, we've talked about this. You just cannot be married to them. They're not regular stocks. They're not long-term fixed commodities that you can depend on, and you just gotta take that advice. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your profits. That's just the reality of the altcoin market. Now, Mr. FOMO, this news hit late last night. After 3 years, the SEC finally dropped its case against 2 Ripple executives. Now, this seems like a lot of waste of money here from taxpayer money, because that's what this is getting used for. And it's just like, at some point, why not just take all that energy and create some regulation? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, all this time, the SEC has been going after Ripple. You lost, right? And do something else with your time.
Maybe
maybe
craft sensible regulation for crypto before we get this knee-jerk legislation pushed through by senators that don't really understand the space. Maybe do that. It's just frustrating, like you said, to see them wasting taxpayer dollars when they could be informing the U.S. government at large about, what's actually, happening in the space, what's important to the space, what's important to the investors in the space, what's really happening to the investors, who the real criminals are in the space, rather than just blaming crypto or digital assets or whatever else. They could have been working on this.
Yeah. And we're being asked about some Voyager news. All we know, guys, is mediation should be ending very, very soon. So either we get good news over the next 10 days or we don't.
And they keep ramping up. They keep ramping up the heat on Stephen Ehrlich, which is beautiful. I like to see him being held accountable. And that's sort of my favorite news that's been coming out recently. Not that I would wish anything bad on anyone, but what he did to all of us out here in the crypto space deserves some accountability, and I'm glad to see that he's getting that accountability.
Yeah, one step at a time. We'll see what happens next. We just don't have. I would love to give you Voyager news, but in terms of just waiting, we just don't have any right now. But stay tuned here, because we're pretty much the only channel in town here that's given news at this point, because everyone else has given up or moved on to something else. So make sure you keep it tuned here. Mr. FOMO.
Let me share one more thing. I just wanted to talk to our viewers. When you're looking at CoinMarketCap, there's some great tools here. Just kind of play around with the tools. You can look around, you can click on some of these buttons. There's got a lot of great data here. And this is some of the things that I do when I'm looking for what I want to swing trade or what I want to, day trade or whatever else. And you see a lot of these are up already. You can press it, you see what's down over the last 7 days. You can ramp that up to 30 days. There are even some altcoins that are up over 100% in the last 30 days. And that's what you're talking about in a bear market, right? Right at the beginning of what we usually assume would be, when you want to be in on the bull market. And so to see altcoins, maybe not the big names, but there was one named Orbs that was up over 100% yesterday on the 30-day chart. And to see that kind of action, and it wasn't just the tiny market cap. There were a couple of them that were in that made it into the billions because of the latest pump that they got. And so to see those alts moving like that is something that's a positive sign. But I also want our viewers to see what kind of tools you have at your fingertips, just simple tools that you can use to examine the data that's out there to make informed decisions.
And Tennessee is talking about stacks. We've talked about stacks a few months ago. It moved when Bitcoin does a good move. It normally moves as well. It is up 17% over the past 24 hours, and that one has a market cap still under $1 billion. And I would, the circulating supply is a lot more than I would like. It's well over 1.4 billion, but that's one that I would probably have on my radar for the upcoming halving, because I think that's halving. Post-halving is where you're going to see the alts really generate. If you're new to crypto, a lot of people take profits from Bitcoin and put them in the alts traditionally.
Watch the percentages. When you get to a Bitcoin dominance of around 70%, that's the key Bitcoin dominance. One of the reasons why we look at Bitcoin dominance, we get around 70%, look for the money to flow out of Bitcoin and into the alts if things happen like they do in the past. We're a long way off from that, is because we haven't gotten to the halving event. But when we get to that point and we get to a spot where Bitcoin is about 70 to 75% dominant during the bull run, look to see money start to move into the alts.
And I'll just see what happens if the alts over the next couple weeks. Full disclosure, I like Chainlink, and if you have it, might be time to take some profits over the next 10 days. Guys, have a wonderful Friday. We will see you very soon for MrFOMO, the AZcrypto. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Have a great weekend.
See ya.